Hey, well, what do you think about me going and getting a makeover? What? I want to go get a makeover. You think it's a good idea? You don't? What's wrong? But mommy wants a new look. You don't think it's a good idea, huh? Well, but you know how I get when I get an idea. Well, I think I'm going to make an appointment and get a makeover. Don't look so sad in the face. It'll be all right. The big reveal. Botched or not? Ooh, did I really come out looking like that? Oh my goodness. No. Here I am. This is what permanent makeup looks like. Oh my goodness, and I am so happy that I had it done. I have nothing but glowing reviews for Paloma's permanent makeup, and it is a tattooing process. It is permanent. The eyebrows do not wipe away. If you guys don't remember what I look like, I will post some pictures that will remind you of just exactly the face that I was dealing with before. But ooh, that puffiness. Oh, I was so frightened by that. So here's the big reveal. Everything came out wonderful, and I'm absolutely happy with the results. Welcome to the Bougie Duchess and the new episode of That Ratchet Opinion. Thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys sticking with me and through this entire pandemic and the situation that's been going on. There are new developments on the horizons, things that we are going to be talking about in this episode of That Ratchet Opinion. And yes, I have an opinion about it. So stay tuned and we'll be back. Bougie Duchess, and I'm back here with my gal pal Bryan. Say hello, Bryan.
Hello.
There we go. And it is the day before the inauguration, and the tensions are running high here in Los Angeles. We have all kinds of things going on. Are there any concerns that you have about this election, about this inauguration, about the politics that's going on?
I'm afraid there's going to be violence. I'm afraid they're going to try to assassinate Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
You think there's going to be an assassination?
I think there might be an attempt, yeah.
By who?
The crazy Republicans that stormed the Capitol last week.
Those weren't Republicans that stormed the Capitol.
Well, supporters.
Oh, the supporters.
Of crazy Trump.
Of crazy Trump. Well, see, I do have a ratchet opinion about what our leaders should really be up to and what they shouldn't be up to. And we'll touch on that. So do you think that was really presidential, how he riled up that crowd?
No, I don't. I think he should have been fired on the spot if it's possible to do that.
Well, I don't think you can fire a president.
It
isn't like they're employed or something like that. They're voted into office.
By idiots.
By idiots. Well, you know, I don't know. I think there were a lot of intelligent people that voted for him too. So, that's just, you know.
Okay, I will admit, my brother-in-law voted for him, but now he regrets he ever did it.
Okay.
After the Capitol thing, he's totally against Trump.
Okay. Well, you know, like I said, you know, he is not my favorite president. There's a lot of things about this man that I do not like. And, but, you know, I've said this to you, and I've said this to many other people. What happens 3,000 miles away doesn't necessarily always affect me personally. However, Do I have an opinion about some of his policies? Yes, when it came to the LGBTQ community and him not allowing them to serve in the military. Now, I personally have absolutely no kind of interest in fighting a war anywhere. But I do realize that that ability to serve one's country should be the right of every American, despite what you declare your sexual preference to be, your gender to be. And I mean, if you can fight and kick some ass, it is my opinion. And if you are of an age that, you can physically keep up with those rigors, it is my opinion that you should be allowed to do such things. But to be disqualified just because you've got an issue, that's not my problem. That seems to be his problem, and it shouldn't have became something that the country debated over. But getting back to this,
and I'm also afraid if Trump stayed in office, he was going to take away gay rights in some way or another.
Okay, well, I'm divided about these laws that are written for rights, because I believe that when something is given, it means that something can be taken away. And I think that they should be inalienable rights, that they should be written in such a way that they are God-given in some kind of way, and that to take them away would be to go against God in some kind of way. So I'm not quite sure. I'm happy with the way we interpret gay rights as being something that can be given, because once again, I think when you can give something, you can take it away. And I don't like that whole idea of being able to give and take things away from communities. I'm not of that school of thought in any way, shape, or form. It is problematic, to say the least. To me, the insurrection that happened, and I've witnessed an amazing. It's just like it's been a class on political science. What's been going on with our government and what we're learning and understanding about presidential powers, and with this insurrection. And I just feel that, the only thing that's left is for an exercise in martial law and dictatorship, which I think is like right up Trump's alley, because he's exercised so many different presidential powers in these last 4 years that I find it to be just amazing, some of the stuff that he's gotten away with. And, I was watching the news earlier today, and he's getting ready to pardon a whole slew of his criminal friends. Do you have a thought process on that?
I don't think he should be allowed to do anything with one day being left in office. I think that rain should have been put on him after the insurrection. He shouldn't be able to get away with any of this after that happened.
Right.
That's my opinion. And he botched COVID-19. Now we have 4 variations of it because he didn't do the rollout correctly.
Okay, well, one could look at it that way. One could look at it that, he dropped the ball on that particular situation as far as the vaccine rollout. I think that as a society, as a community, as a group of individuals, we had medical advice given, and we had a leader that contradicted that particular advice. So whenever there's that division going on, it's hard to keep control of a group of people. It's kind of like when there's that division in a family, and you've got mommy that will allow something, but daddy won't allow it, and so you pick and choose where it is that you want to get your medicine from in some kind of way.
Right.
I've noticed that now I personally have been sheltering in place. I observe a lot of the restrictions that I wear a mask in public, and right at the moment I'm wearing a mask here in the studio because I'm trying to demonstrate that this is safe behavior, and this is what's going to keep me alive. So,
I guess what upset me most about this rollout is people that are HIV positive still can't get the shot. And we just had a friend that's very young die from not being able to get the vaccine.
This is true. This is true. This is not the first pandemic that I have survived. I'm old enough that I remember the HIV/AIDS epidemic, and they tagged it to a whole community, to the LGBT community, and they had absolutely no care, towards this community or this disease until it started infecting the heterosexual community, because of course it is a sexually transmitted disease, and anything that is sexually transmitted is not going to adhere to the boundaries of an LGBTQ community. This is going to spread straight across the board in every single community. So, but because in the 80s, gay people had 10 times as much sex as the heterosexual counterpart in this country, it spread like wildfire throughout the gay community, and especially amongst gay men. And I remember because in 81, it was called GRIDS, Gay-Related Immune Deficiency Syndrome. And it took a while before the medical community said, we've got to stop doing this because hemophiliacs who are not even gay are coming down with this disease because it's in the blood supply. Because this is a virus, and viruses do not discriminate. They will get you all day long. They will get you. It doesn't matter. What comes around goes around. And I think that I love that they've been able to come up with a vaccine for COVID. I hate the fact that it has mutated 4 times, and I believe there's here in California, from my understanding, we have 2 variations, right?
One in San Francisco, one in LA.
Yes, so there's the UK version.
The UK, the Amazon.
And an Amazonian.
And Africa.
Well, has the South African version of COVID made it here yet?
No.
Oh, okay. So that's what I've heard on the news, and I to me, this is Mother Nature striking back, and she is striking very, very hard. And once again, we have seen a couple of our friends go. I know here in my apartment building where I live at here in Los Angeles, 3 individuals have died, and from this virus, and it is a very, very serious thing. It is a very serious thing, and I for one am grateful that there is going to be a change in leadership, because it will give the opportunity for somebody else that might care a little bit more about its citizens to wrangle in what's going on with this particular disease. Because, see, for me, this is where my concern is. I really don't care too much about, if we're winning the fight in some country or anything of that nature. But what I do care about is the next door neighbor healthy? And for me, it's a very, very important situation to make sure that people in this country stay healthy. And I don't have a problem with if you're not native to this country, because I think COVID has proven it. If you come here and you're sick with something, it will spread like wildfire. And so we have to make sure that if you're sick with something, that proper health care is given to you so that it does not spread throughout the rest of the population. Because if you don't care about your motherfucking ass, I certainly care about my ass. Oh, did I use profanity?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's my ratchet opinion about this subject. My name is Francesca Oz. I am the Bougie Duchess. This is my gal pal, Bryan Trumbull.
Good night, people.
You've been seeing pictures of him over there on the monitor. And stay with us because pretty soon the inauguration is going to be happening. And we've got more to update as the show continues. Obviously, in our last segment, I had spoken a little bit about healthcare, and I ended on the topic of possibly even universal healthcare, which is a subject that's kind of important to me. So mainly not just because of the pandemic, but during this pandemic, I have noticed an explosion of a mental health crisis going on, at least here in the streets of Los Angeles, and it has just gotten to be out of control and just one that it takes my breath away. I suffer mental health issues. I am a recovering drug addict. I'm dual diagnosed, which means, now, make no mistake, just because I'm a little crazy does not mean that I am not capable or that I'm not intelligent in some kind of way. It just means that my brain works a little overtime and then shuts down. And when I shut down, it's nothing nice. And it's unfortunate. And I work a program. So in those moments when I'm caught off guard, and I'm not being so nice, and I'm not being so polite, and I'm not acting so ladylike, I have a 10th step where I can apologize to people. But that is a different subject matter from the subject matter that I'm wanting to talk to you about today. I'm wanting to talk to you about a mental health crisis that I'm noticing here in Los Angeles, and I'm sure that you are noticing it across the country and possibly even globally, as we are all being forced to shelter in place. We are isolating. We are social creatures. We were meant to be able to be around each other and touch and comfort and socialize. Those are the kind of creatures we are. And right at the moment, that is just not available to us that way. And I think it is starting to create a problem. I'm getting ready to show you some videos that I've collected over these past 8 months that truly demonstrate that. There are times that I'm able to talk to these individuals. Now, in my recovery, when I decided to get clean and sober, I think about a year into my recovery, I decided to go back to school. Now, I was one of these people that's so curious when I got back to school. And, my great love was art. And of course, as you can tell, I got my degree in graphic design, which is what helps produce all of this footage that you're seeing. And, it's a developmental process. And I've been developing my art through the video and through editing and just, collecting this material and bringing it to you. And so for me, it has allowed me to be able to grow and communicate with individuals in a way that I didn't think was possible when COVID kicked in at first. At first I started feeling like I was isolating and left alone, and it really shook the foundations of what my recovery was about. But I found strength in one of the most vulnerable moments of my recovery. I was about to, I just turned 10, and everything changed. And for me, this not being able to connect with my network and my support structure, it left me, it left me in a very bad place. I'm grateful that I know how to reach out and get help. There are millions of Americans that are not capable of doing such a thing. And so some of the video that I'm about to show you is going to demonstrate when people are not reaching out and getting help. And they are, now, I want you to view this in a light of understanding and knowing that what I am advocating for here is a more universal healthcare system that will take care of these individuals despite their ability to be able to pay for healthcare, which I think is paramount and where this country needs to start going. Because if we don't, we're going to have more crises like this in the streets. And it's only going to start multiplying from here because our population is exploding. So, without further ado, I'm going to present a little bit of video footage for you to view. I want you to view it knowing that what I'm advocating for is a universal healthcare system that will include mental health, will include healthcare for the COVID, for if you've got the flu, if you've got, vaccination, any kind of childhood situation going on. I think it's very, very important that, children keep getting their vaccines, the mumps, the measles, the tetanus, all of these things, polio, all of these things really in this lifetime have pretty much been eradicated, and that money starts being set aside for research and development for the cure of a whole host of other problems and complications that are going on. There are diseases and cancer and things that really need to devote attention. And I think by doing this, we'll be creating jobs. So, without further ado, and thank you for tuning in and watching. I appreciate you. Mwah.
tonight. Everybody, look at it. You got the drug.
I tell the drug. I didn't even touch nothing.
Get out of my car. Get the fuck away from my car.
Well, now I am.
She said she's touching everything.
You acting
You
stupid,
push
bitch.
the mic. There goes the key.
That's it. You're acting stupid, bitch.
Look at the door.
It's inside. You're gonna clean it.
Her key all
You're
over my
gonna
car.
clean that. Put everything in this bucket for nothing's over there. Bitch.
Mine, mine.
Don't be knocking my shit down. Don't be knocking my shit down. Don't be knocking my shit down, bitch. You better stop it, you fucking animal. He came to tell me that I'm over there sells drugs. That's what he came to tell me when he got out. Yes, you do. You sell them at AMPM, or in the alley, or in the parking lot of Big Lots, or at the McDonald's, bitch. Everybody knows. You fucking fucker piece of scum.
You're the piece of shit.
You are. You
The
are.
day you're gonna be nice to everybody, the day you die. There goes my car.
Fuck you, bitch.
Piece of shit.
You're the one that's
Look at the hell last night.
You're the one that's drinking, you fucking asshole piece of scum.
Uh-oh.
Take the picture. What's she doing? Hey, take a picture.
Drinking and selling your drugs, so shut up.
Everything out of my
Lying
car.
bitch, fuck you.
She's been doing this to you a lot lately. She's been doing this to you a lot lately.
Tell my 3 cards is off. You're gonna lose this car too.
Wow. Oh, look what's going on over here. A little SWAT response. They got them on the ground. I wonder if they broke into this place. Who knows what's going on? Busy little day over here in Reseda. But these 3 are going to jail, that's for sure.
Bougie Duchess, and I'm here reporting on today's inauguration. And so, you know, nothing to be said about having to be, you know, a good sport about things. So, you know, Donald Trump is a sore loser, did not attend the event, didn't give Joe Biden a handshake or concede in the way that usually most presidents have done in the past, or at least in the past 100 years or so. It isn't like it hasn't happened before, but, you know, anyhow, you know, the transition of power has finally happened. It's different this time around, of course, because, you know, COVID dictated that people couldn't attend. So if you look at the inauguration, there were flags representing people instead, and so it was a very sparsely event. There were troops there that kept the peace. I think there were, you know, some possible threats. Thank God nothing materialized. I know my friend Bryan, who expressed his fears yesterday about something happening. it did not materialize, which was a wonderful thing. And so Los Angeles' own Amanda Gorman, one of the youngest poets to ever present at an inauguration, wrote and read a most beautiful poem that really elaborated and depicted the struggles of minority America. And I just hate saying that there's a minority situation going on in America, because I'd like to think of us as all of us as American, and we're all in the same boat and rowing in the same direction. But there's always somebody there reminding me that some of us are just a little different. And maybe I should stop being so upset about that and relish the fact and be grateful that I am different from all of the rest. Maybe it makes me the prize and the jewel in the bunch. Who knows? But anyway, so continuing with that Ratchet opinion. So I've got some Ratchet opinions about what's getting ready to happen. And, it's kind of in flux here as to whether they're getting ready to impeach him, lock him up. He didn't bother to pardon his family. And that may have been by counsel advice. They may have said, well, if you do such a thing, it will appear as if they're guilty to begin with. And he did ask if he could pardon himself, and that also might look like he's guilty to begin with if he did such a thing. So some of these activities that he didn't engage in that pardoning process, and I believe he pardoned almost 140 individuals before he left office. This guy has got a slew of criminal friends. He almost sounds as bad as me. Oh! But anyway, he pardoned, well, I don't have pardoning powers, but he pardoned over 140 of them. And that is pretty amazing. So we will see what is coming up in the next couple of days here as to what this Congress is going to want to do about him. Now, I heard that the possibility of him wanting to start, I think there's another party that he is interested, because the Republican Party is trying to put some distance in between them and him, and he wants to run again, of course, in 2024, but as an independent under a different party that he would like to found or something of this nature. I'm sure it's something that he will wheel and deal and embezzle hundreds of millions of dollars from in some kind of way, because that's just the way he's been rolling all of this time. And why screw up a good thing when you've got it going on, So anyway, so this will start to materialize, I'm sure, in the future. And when it does, I'll give you my opinion on it. Get all fixed up here. Okay, everything. Is my hair all in place? There we go. Bougie Duchess. And this segment, we're going to start talking a little bit about dating. Not necessarily me and you dating, but just dating habits that are going on during COVID. It's changed drastically and dramatic. It's always been drastic and dramatic for me. Back in the day when I was a transgender male to female, dating me came with disclosure. There were little things that, or maybe bigger things that we had to talk about before we got down to the nitty gritty of it. And I was always surprised when people told me they didn't know or they couldn't tell. And as you're going to see in just a little bit, I'm going to post some of these conversations. They're going to appear right over here, just like this. As I'm reading them to you, they will appear right over here. I probably should get my reading glasses real quick. Hold on just a second. I'll be right back. Here we are. Here I am with my little reading glasses on. Yes, because I'm older and blinder now than I've ever been before. But anyway, so dating with me has always been a very different experience. I come with surprise packages all the time. And there's always had to have been some type of disclosure. Now, I know that when gay men date, once you guys figure out that you're gay, you just drop your drawers and you get busy, isn't that right?
If it's a one-night stand, yeah, but if you're like dating someone, it's not necessarily like that.
Oh, okay. So there is a difference. I see.
You usually date a couple of dates if you have interest and you don't give it up.
Oh, and you don't give it up. Okay.
At least that's what I've done, but it's never worked.
Oh, okay.
They always want the goodies first.
They want the goodies first. Okay. So this is me consulting with my peanut gallery, or better known as my gal pal, Bryan. See, and when I dated and it was a one-night stand, there was a cash transaction involved in that kind of dating. You know, you just paid me and I went about my business, and discretion was the better part of the evening with me. You know, I kept my mouth shut when it came to it. You know, of course, if the wife showed up and started asking questions about where your paycheck went to, that was your problem, not my problem. But I don't live that way anymore, so I'm kind of grateful for a recovery and a program that I live by. But so anyway, now I'm post-operative, so I've gone through gender affirming surgery, and for those of you that don't know, that's the politically correct term for a sex change. And so I've undergone gender affirming surgery, and yes, I have a vagina. And one of the things that, so when I first started having sex, now I started having sex with an old booty call that, was aware that I had undergone the gender affirming surgery. And I think one of the first conversations that I had with him was, I asked him, I said, what did you think, And he took, because he's got some experience with women, and he says, for a woman your age, and that kind of hurt my feelings, a woman your age. He said there should be some more wear and tear on that vagina. He says, it looks like teenage vagina. And I wanted to ask him, how do you know what teenage vagina looks like? But I didn't want to hear that answer, so I kind of kept my mouth shut when it came to that. So that's just my ratchet opinion about that conversation between me and the old booty call, which I stopped seeing him after that. I didn't feel good about that conversation, didn't feel good about dating somebody that might know what teenage vagina looks like. And so I'm done. But, it didn't mean that I'm not in the market or prospectively looking for somebody, but once again, now, I'm dealing with the fact that disclosure. So, because I'm dating a different class of man, I'm not dating the kind of man that is looking for surprise packages in his woman, I'm looking for a heterosexual man that's into at least what he is believing to be a biological female, but is a post-operative female. And so and I have some funny little quirks. Some people are okay with that terminology, transgender, and this is the way I kind of feel about that terminology. When you are transitioning in your gender, then it might be appropriate to refer to somebody as transgender. But see, I am post-operative and I've already undergone all the surgery. There's no more surgery. I'm kind of a complete package here. So there's no more transitioning. So to refer to me as transgender in some kind of way, I feel might be a little inaccurate and misleading to the consumer that might be interested in. Anyway, so that's just where I'm at in my psyche of this gender dysphoria that I'm going through, because I still suffer from that. That's the terminology, the psychiatric terminology that they use in describing individuals that are going through the gender affirming process. So there you have it. A little bit of education going on here at the Bougie Duchess for your nerves. And so I'm going to disclose a little bit. Now, what I did though with the individual that I had a conversation, because of COVID, I'm not meeting anybody in person. And so this all happened through Facebook Messenger. Now, please don't try and bombard me on Messenger, because I do get bombarded on Messenger quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Please don't send me the little nudie pictures. I get plenty of those. I don't want to look at your junk. I really don't. But I get it. You think that you might be the only person in the world that's doing that to me. You're not. But it's okay. So anyway, I did take interest in this one gentleman, but I have blacked out his last name to protect his identity. And I think he's given me a fictitious name also to protect his identity. So anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and read to you. And while I'm reading it to you, it will appear magically or graphically. What? What? Speak, because you're interrupting.
I can't believe it said fuck you to you.
Oh, please. Don't. He's worried. Somebody actually said fuck you to me. They say fuck you to me all the time. Are you kidding me? That's the least of my worries, that somebody might say fuck you to me. Did you see that I blocked him too?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yes, I blocked him too. Yes. Let me tell you something. When you rattle my cage in such a... Yes, I will block you too. The list is long on the people that I have blocked. Remember the guy that sent me the bondage picture of the woman dangling upside down, tied up in the leather straps?
Yeah.
I blocked him too.
Okay.
Yes. No. I'm not... I just don't care for all of that kind of disrespect. It happens. Hey, what can I do about it? I'm not going to get all upset and frazzled and worked up into a lather. I just go into Messenger. There's a little feature. It says block. I click on block. Ta-da! I'm done with you. And I walk away from the situation. I leave it alone. I'm not gonna let it just keep on bothering me and everything like that. I'm gonna read that one too. Don't worry. That's in here. That's in here. So I have this here, but it's like I said, through the magic of graphic design, one of my degrees. Also, another one of my degrees is social and behavioral science, because I just love observing people, because that's what, one of the gifts of recovery is I went back to school. I got 3 degrees, one in graphic design, one in social and behavioral science, and the third one was arts and humanities. And I just dilly-dallied all over the college campus for 6 years. And it was a gift. It really was. It was a gift. And now I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor, and I have my cute little YouTube channel. I live comfortably. I have Bo. The next segment will be about Bo, and he's a brand ambassador dog, and he's finally pulling down a little something something, and he's endorsing a product, and he's bringing home his self-supporting contribution, and I'm so happy that he's finally made it in some kind of way. And anyway, we'll get to that in the next segment. Let me not interrupt this segment. This segment is about disclosure and how I might handle the peskiness of possibly finding Mr. Right or Mr. Right now, or most of them are just wrong altogether. But hey, we got to keep looking, right? We keep looking. And this is the way I'm doing it during a pandemic, and I'm trying to stay safe and healthy, and I'm protecting myself. So here, this gentleman contacted me, and he says, "Hello, how are you doing today?" And I said back to him, I said, "Hello, I am well, and you?" He says, "I'm fine, thank you for asking. How has your day been so far?" I said, "Well, this COVID thing makes it so impossible to be social." "How is your day progressing?" I asked. He responded, "Well, my day has been okay, thanks for asking." "How's work and family?" Now I know he doesn't know me because I really don't have much contact with my family. So I said, family. That is a problematic situation. Work, not so much of it lately. "Oh, okay," he responds. "I see. That's cool. LOL. So tell me, where are you from?" Obviously, he did not read my bio on Facebook because he would have known I'm currently living in Los Angeles, but I'm originally from Miami. This is the next one. This is the kicker. This is why I find this so funny. He says, "Do you have kids? I noticed. Oh, no. I said that. Wait, where am I at? Yes. So tell me he asked me, so tell me where you are from." "Oh, okay, I see that, cool. So tell me, where are you from?" And I said, "You have kids. I noticed that you are widowed and from Moscow," because I check out your Facebook page. "My family emigrated from Cuba. We have something in common, that we were both communists at one point in time." He said, "Really? That's awesome." I said, "I was born in Miami, but have lived here in LA for a considerable amount of time." He said, "Oh, okay, that's great. So where do you live currently?" I said, "Beautiful sunny downtown Van Nuys, the Valley." "You?" He said, "Oh, nice place. I'm originally from Russia. But live in California currently. I'm in France, working for a company contract. It's my pleasure to meet you." And I responded, "The pleasure's all mine." He said, "Thank you. I seek for a serious relationship with you, which was why I wrote you. I think it's appropriate to begin by knowing each other. My full name is," I'm going to leave that blank, but it doesn't sound Russian. It sounds more Irish than Russian, but okay. "And you?" And of course I responded, I said, "Oh, that sounds very Russian to me. Once again, it's really my pleasure to meet you. Are you married and do you have children? Obviously, he does not know that I was once transgender and am now a post-operative female. So I tell him, my name is Francesca Oz. I do not believe that anything in this world is so serious when it comes to human beings. I am not married, nor do I have children, which if I did, would be a very long conversation. Oh, okay, that's cool, you know. Well, as for me, I'm widowed with a son. He's 14 years old. Before we go too far, and I place you under the illusion that you are speaking to someone who does not understand a man's world for whatever reason that may be, you should know that I am a sex change. Let me give you a moment to digest that. That's what I said. I let him know. I just thought that the conversation was going a little too off into him wanting to know if I had children. I didn't want to get catty and said, well, none of my lesbian lovers ever came up to me and said, look, honey, there's your daddy. Go say hello to daddy, you know? So I just had to keep it on the real front as far as I'm not aware that I have any children. Could have some children. Just don't know that I've got children. And that's just one of those long conversations that if I was to have with a man, I'd have to have it after he knows the absolute truth. Because how do you look at somebody and say, I don't know if I got kids, without disclosing what I might have been or what I have been. So, have been, has been, had been?
Had been.
Had been. There we go. Past present tense. Had been. In the past present tense. Without the long explanation. So I just felt like cutting through all the bullshit and letting him know just what he's dealing with. And so I believe there was a degree of silence there before he got back to me. And then he said, what did you mean by the word sex change? Now, I think that's self-explanatory. What do you think, Bryan? Do you think that's self-explanatory?
Yeah, he's an idiot.
You think he's an idiot? I don't know. I think it's kind of self-explanatory when I inform you. You know, if I would have said I undergone gender-affirming surgery, that might, you know, that's not so, you know, you got to be of a hip generation to understand that. I just figured when I said sex change that people from the 50s understands that terminology. So I was trying to be as direct as possible. I don't want any kind of confusion swirling around about the kind of woman that I really am today, you know? So, though I want to love and be loved, what about you, my dear? That's, you know, this is the conversation with him. And so I respond to him. I said, let's back up. Need to be clear with you. This is what I said. When I was born a boy. Not that I ever felt like a man, but that is what life handed me. Now, I'm a woman. I have had surgery that made that possible. Are you okay with that idea before we talk about loving each other? I further said, we live in a different world today. I have had a few relationships with women, and none of them have presented me with children. And then I said, ha 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 ha. I have been bisexual most of my life and love excitement in the bedroom. He responded, oh, I see. That's cool, you know. I'm 54 years old, born February 4th, 1966. And you? I responded, amazing. February 11th, I'm going to block out the year. He said, really? That's great. Well, I don't think that age difference between us should be a barrier. Rather, the most important thing is for us to be sure if we really find understanding, happiness, and joy with each other above above all, where is that? Happiness. Above all, I think love is the greatest. Don't you think so? I have a whole different opinion about love. I said, love is complicated, especially unconditional love like you have with a child. I believe that trust for me is a foundation in which I seek to build relationships on and tend to recognize patterns in behaviors. See, that's that social behavioral science degree kicking in where I observe certain individuals. And now also, mind you, and you probably have noticed this, in my observation, while I may observe and document, and I consider this videoing that I'm doing as a form of documentation, I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at observing distressful situations and documenting them. Maybe not so good at fixing anything or fixing myself, but hey, it's a start, that's for sure. So I said, I believe that trust for me is a foundation in which I seek to build relationships on and tend to recognize patterns in behaviors. Maybe I'm letting my education get in the way at this point. The most important part for you to know is that I would be willing to engage in an honest relationship. I value that. I also sent him a link to one of my YouTube shows, Tour de Hood Light Show. That was the light show, the Christmas light show here in the Valley. And he said, oh, okay, so how is the weather over there now? Seasonably warm, considering what it might be in France. I said, this is my YouTube channel. I told him the weather was nice and cool. I hope you have enough warm clothes to keep you warm. I ended the conversation with, what I need is a teddy bear of a man to keep me warm. And that was the last time I decided to speak to him because I'm not really interested in a long distance relationship with somebody that's living in France and that's got a kid. It's just the way I am. Now I have this other one. This is the conversation that you were noticing up on the screen there.
Oh, okay.
Okay. He starts off nice, though. He starts off nice. He says, hi, pretty. And he's got some emojis winking at me. He says, nice meeting you. I'm Bryan. Now, mind you, he sends this to me on Messenger. I did mention that I'm not really on Messenger. It's unfortunate that I've had to disconnect my Messenger from all of the ways that I communicate because I have 5,000 friends on that Facebook app, and they continuously bombard me with, some of it's very friendly. The majority of it is very friendly. There's just this, small portion of it that is just, how would you describe it? Grimy, foul, vulgar, nasty,
yep.
Invitations into bestiality and grotesque things that I really do not engage in any of these behaviors. I'm slightly appalled, sometimes amused, by some of it, but anyhow, so here's an individual that thinks that I live by my Messenger account, and so he's and this all happened. Let's see, it started at 12:42 and ended at 3:15 p.m. Okay, so in less than a 3-hour period, of course, it all happened in a time frame that I completely unaware of. So because sometimes I don't even open up Messenger for days on end. So this is how up to date I am with the Messenger app, because I'm bombarded so much, because I don't think Facebook monitors Messenger like they do the public page. You see, you do this, you do some of the stuff that they're doing on Messenger on Facebook, and from my understanding, you go to Facebook jail. Is that right?
Yep.
You go to Facebook jail. How many times has Nick landed in Facebook jail?
Too many.
Too many times. I've never been to Facebook jail because, see, I don't do those kind of things in public. I'm not that kind of girl anymore. There was a time. Those days are over. I act my age, Finally. What do you think of that? Anyway, back to this. So, hi, pretty. Nice meeting you. I'm Braun, whatever his name is. Okay. And then just within a matter of minutes, you're not going to chat with me? And then he's demanding now, hey, talk to me. Hey, you're not going to talk to me? I hate you. Fuck you. I mean, as soon as I discovered it, I blocked him. So, these are some of my little adventures in today's world of dating and disclosure. And I've got more, and we'll be talking more, and I have every intention of sharing with you some tidbits about some of my surgeries, some of the things that have gone on in my world, but please stay tuned. There's more to come. We are going to be following this up with a little segment about Bo's new job, and I'm so proud of my baby. He's coming home with the bacon, or at least with some shoes and some items. And I also wanted to show you some other stuff, and I'm doing a product endorsement. So thank you for tuning in, and stay with us after this brief little commercial identification. Alrighty, bye now. Bougie Duchess here, and this is Bo, and he's got me trained absolutely right and perfect. And I'd like to give out a public service message. Please adopt one of these wonderful animals from a shelter. They will change the way that you look at life, and they will change the way that you love the world. And just my whole perception has completely changed because of him. I love him dearly, and he's such a good boy. You're such a good boy. And so I want to talk a little bit about a job that he got. He's recently become a brand ambassador dog, and he's such a good boy. He is such a good boy, and so he is marketing these Paws rubber dog boots, and personally, I think they are the best dog boots on the market. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit, and I'm going to do a little bit of a comparison, okay? Because you can slip these dog boots on, and they will stay on the entire walk. Now, I paid about $15 for these dog boots. Here you go, baby boy. Okay? And then, of course, I bought another pair of dog boots, which will remain nameless because I'm trying to promote the Paws dog boots. And these are, you know, really fancy, and they've got the little Velcro, and it's got the nice little thick rubber bottoms, and they fit his paws just perfect. However, as he's walking down the street, maybe a good 100 yards later, these boots come slipping off of his feet. Well, that's no good, because we usually walk about a mile on our walks. So to only get 100 yards in means that these boots are absolutely no good. And I get 12 for $15, and I only got 4, and I paid twice as much for that. So, the Paws Dog boots win by far. And I will go ahead and put that information for you. You'll find it in It's a Dog's Life. We've done a video for it in It's a Dog's Life. And I will post a link for it right below in that Ratchet Opinion, the new show that we are premiering today, later. Good night. It's been a long day. I love you. Bye now. Say bye to everybody, Bobo. No more treats. No more treats. All the treats are gone. All the treats are gone. You give me a kiss? Give me a kiss? Give me a kiss? Oh, you give me kisses. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys.
There he goes. Just peeing away. He usually likes to kick up some grass. Let's see, did he kick his shoes off? Nope. See, I'm afraid that might tear a hole in the bottom of those shoes. Let's see how that goes. Okay. All right, baby boy. Good job. Good job.